Hi, I'm Andrew, the young adult and media librarian at North Brunswick Public Library. And looking at myself on the screen, I think, I really need a haircut. I think it's important to be able to be honest with yourself about things like that. I think that being honest about things that also might be a little more difficult and more challenging is important as well. And that's something we see in this book. It's not a very easily defined book. It's called The Fire Never Goes Out, a memoir in pictures by Noelle Stevenson. Noelle Stevenson, you may be familiar with some of her books, graphic novels that she's written and or illustrated, such as Nimona and Lumberjanes. She was also the creator and showrunner and executive producer of the animated series She-Ra, Princess and the Princesses of Power, which is available on DVD from North Brunswick Library, as are some of her books that I mentioned. Now, yeah, it's a very striking book in just how honest it feels and how honest she is with herself about her career, about her life, about changes that she's made. And it's done with a combination of sort of comic strips and journal entries and summaries and things that she's already posted on her website in a lot of cases, just put in sort of uh, in a narrative way, more or less, and to give you some idea of it. She also shows some of her work. Right, this is her broship of the ring. Right, you can see the characters from Lord of the Rings done dressed as a mite in the 21st century. There's and she has some fun humor with that. Right, her take on some classic characters. But it also really gets into, it's very much internal, the looks in this book, how she has to deal with her own, mental illness and depression. So it's a coming out story as well. And we see her struggle professionally, and yet we know in a fairly short amount of time she achieves a great deal of success. She's not even 30 years old, and she's really had a lot of remarkable success in terms of the books and her TV projects, etc. But there's the professional success, and there's also the success of being who you are and knowing who you are. And one of the things I really appreciate this book is that it does look at mental illness. For a long time, mental illness has been thought of as a stigma, or something you just don't want to talk about. And as a consequence, that's really lead to more depression for people who might need to know that there are more people out there like who experience what they've experienced, and that there is a condition that they can pinpoint, and that really comes up for the character of Noelle Stevenson in the book as well. Knowing that she actually has a diagnosis can actually make her feel better. So it is, and it is a character, it is a character who we do get to know just because of, well, we get to know Noelle Stevenson's a character just because of the fearlessness of Noelle Stevenson's the author and writer, being able to to express things that are very uncomfortable. All right, and you can see here, right, she has some very diverse storytelling techniques. All right, the idea that sometimes she'll just use scribbles over words, and just to show the sort of an inner dialogue for herself, where one part of her says one thing and another part of her says something else. It's very interesting. So anyways, the fire never goes out. I'd be very curious to hear your opinions on it. You can place a hold on it through contactless pickup, either by calling the library during our open hours or placing a hold online at northbrunswicklibrary.org. I'd certainly be curious to hear your opinion on this. Also, if you have any other requests for books that we can look at, or books for the library, please let me know. I always love to hear from you. Thanks a lot and happy reading.